say well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Freemo.
Oh, yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day of not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
The hosts of the longest running podcast in Rhode Island. Oh shit, really?
Welcome to BGFG episode 385. Duct Tape can't fix this. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix. And joining me, as always, my brother from another mother, Mr. Freemo Z. How are you doing, sir?
I'm verified.
Are you sure you're verified, though?
Do you not see the shirt?
I do see the shirt.
This is my version of verification right
That's
here.
your verification.
Yeah. For those of you who might have gotten excited, no, I'm not on Twitter.
Nor will he ever be. And I don't blame you. So just a quick take before we jump into, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just get into there goes the explicit content right there.
No, we edit that post.
Nah.
Edit that out in post.
I am not editing shit. Let's get into this week's news. BGFG News. You heard it here third. So the whole verification and Twitter thing is kind of getting out of control. Elon, you fucked shit up. There's no gray area here, okay? We have.
See, I disagree. Go ahead.
So we have 5 Twitter accounts. I think it's 5, 4 or 5 Twitter accounts besides my personal one, just for the different shows that we do and things like that. And since Elon kind of took over, I have been getting hammered with just unsolicited girls. My wife is even laughing her ass off because the same ones keep coming up, and it'll be like a tagline or tweet that says, "Hey, just saw you. Had a great game. Looking forward to maybe Netflix and chill." Or I'm down with Modern Warfare, YouTube, and showing you my tits. It's like, how blatant are you? Like, yeah. And they just keep, like, I keep blocking them. Like, even my wife is laughing because I keep blocking them, and they keep coming up. I'm like, so blocking doesn't work, obviously. And we talked about it before on the show on a past episode about how much it's just like it's a cesspool. It really turned into a lot of hate speech and stuff.
Well, here's the thing. This guy thinks in a skewed manner to the way the rest of us view the world. He has like a completely different worldview.
Okay.
I personally think this was intentional. I think this was planned. Bear with me. I think this was planned chaos. Okay?
Okay. I can get behind that.
One, you haven't heard a single thing in the last several days about I'm leaving Twitter because Elon took over. That's gone.
Yeah, because those people already left.
Well, some of them did, some of them didn't. But you haven't heard any of that backlash that you were hearing from a certain segment of society.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's just disappeared. This is like back in God, I'd have to look it up. Back when we were having some economic issues, and then all of a sudden the swine flu pandemic was going to come out of Mexico and decimate America.
Yeah.
And everybody focused on that. And then there was no swine flu.
Right.
All right. So I think this was intentional. I think this was planned. And I think obviously there's some fallout from it that you can't predict. But I think this was intentional. I think he knew exactly what was going to happen with this verified thing. And now, okay, he was in a position of Twitter is perceived as being extremely left-leaning prior to him taking over.
Okay.
right? He comes in and he's saying, "Hey, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to make this open market of ideas, left, right, in between, whatever. You're going to be able to voice your opinion and have discourse."
Yeah.
Well, when he takes over, there's so much of this vitriol about the, difference of opinions being allowed and expressed and whatnot, however you want to word it.
Right.
So to get past that, he just makes this thing a complete, absolutely no rules, no holds barred, free for all. Right? Absolute clown world mayhem. And now when he scales it back,
yeah. What happened?
No one's going to care. No one's going to care that it's a more open forum of discussion.
So
it'll be embraced. So Twitter's here. This is what Twitter was. This is where he wanted Twitter to be. Knowing, all this backlash over moving Twitter in this direction. So what does he do? He takes Twitter, he drops the bottom out of it. He makes it look so disgustingly ugly that when he brings it back over here, no one's going to complain.
I don't agree.
Without this, him trying to shift Twitter a little bit would never have worked. There would have been that constant negativity and everything associated with him trying to shift it a little bit without this mayhem in between.
Right. So I see what you're saying. I do. I just don't agree with it. What I think happened was that he took over the business. He got such track on it. You know what I mean? Like he got so much take on it that he needed to do something. He needed to do something relatively quick to make it like, I'm here, I'm making these changes, I'm not just firing people. It's not an ego thing, I know what I'm doing. And that's where the verification, the Twitter Blue came up. Because that was a complete failure.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to make a statement and then it just backfired because he really doesn't honestly know what they're doing. They just stopped the whole Twitter verification thing. And he said, now, I understand what he was saying at the beginning. He said it wasn't a fair system for validation. I mean, I never got validated, even though I tried applying for it a bunch of times. But it was like he said, it was peasants. It was the peasants that weren't verified. I understand completely what he was saying. But then he decided to charge for the validation. Well, that shit's not going to work either. Charging for the validation just gets anybody to be able to do it. Oh, I want to be verified. And it could be a parody account, which is what it went wrong almost immediately. Almost immediately. I'm telling you. One of the first ones to pop up.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that there was some unforeseen tangents to this decision. I don't disagree with that. Okay. Unforeseen. I don't think that anyone thought, they're sitting around kicking the can around the room discussing this. I don't think anyone said, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if someone parodies the Lily account thing and says insulin is free and their stock drops." I don't think they thought through some of the ramifications.
No, they didn't. So the first one was.
I do think they were expecting Clown World. I do. I really do.
I don't know. I see what you're saying. I just don't know if they were expecting that, because one of the first ones was Nintendo. Nintendo got real quick with Mario flipping the bird, which I think was great. Then you got the fake Tony Blair account retweeting a fake George Bush account. Those are going back and forth.
I think a lot of that kind of stuff was expected. I think that's what he was wanting from it. I don't think the negative financial,
malicious stuff,
crutch. Yeah,
right. But again, that's the problem with him taking over and being in charge, is that he doesn't really understand. Like, it's one thing to sit there and tweet and have a lot of followers and have, you get called out by the FCC for different shit that you tweet. That's one thing. Running the company is completely different.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree. I think he's going to need a little bit of time to get his head wrapped around what's actually going on there. But
you have the Pope. You have the Pope's verified account pushing crypto scams. There might be a problem.
To me, that's funny.
I agree.
If you're dumb enough, and the other thing that's happened with this, it has shown exactly how stupid our society has become.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone thinks a big pharma company is giving away insulin for free?
Well, that's the thing. So what
I mean,
Fremo's
come
talking
on.
about is Eli Lilly. And again, this was one of those situations where it was they're a pharmaceutical company that handles insulin. And make no mistake about it, these are the people that Fremo and I hate. But at the same time, on the flip side, they're a business and they didn't deserve this. The fact that for me it's hard because as a business you got compromised.
They did. They absolutely did, and it's unfortunate. But here's the thing: whoever did that, that's like yelling fire in a theater. Can't do it. It's prosecutable.
Right, but I agree, but
And
at the same time,
that's how Elon settles a lot of this stuff. He just lets law enforcement do their job. If they want to go after the person that did that,
well, I get that,
give
but
them all the information up front. And guess what? When it hits the news that the person that did this fake Eli Lilly account is now serving 5 to 10 for whatever the charges are,
if you don't know,
somebody else is going to hopefully think twice before trying to do something stupid like that. And
if
that's
you
my
don't
point.
know, Eli
Our
Lilly,
society has gotten so stupid,
yeah,
it deserves to be crushed.
Eli Lilly is a pharmaceutical company that sells insulin. They sell insulin for like $749. It's fucking stupid what's going on. And the fake account that was, again, Twitter verified said insulin is free from now on. And granted, everyone's like, what the fuck? And the people that were reading it, again, the company immediately jumped on and said, this isn't true, all that. And again, great. They apologized. Wonderful. And their stock took a nosedive. It's hard for me to feel bad about that because when you have loved ones that are on insulin and they're spending that much money, I mean, there is literally people in the world. Understand this, listeners. Understand this, sheeple. There's people in this country right now that will literally not buy groceries because they have to buy insulin to stay alive. That's a fucking issue. And it really gets me fucking hot.
And guess what? It's been brought to light now in a way that would not previously have happened.
I can't disagree with that. But this is what happens when Elon doesn't really know what he wants.
See, but again, I mean, we said a couple of weeks ago, love him or hate him, he is a humanitarian. He is trying to do things to benefit the human population of this planet.
Yeah. When you step back and look at it,
it's not outside the realm of possibility. Maybe he did. Maybe he is trying to level the playing field. Maybe he is trying to get rid of the peasant elite thing. Maybe he is trying to force Big Pharma into rethinking how they go to business. I mean,
I don't disagree with
that. It's possible.
Yeah. But and to go, continue on what you were saying, rich people need to learn a lesson. The days of rich getting rich and the poor staying poor really needs to end. And I know every generation says that, but now we have the ability, especially with Gen X coming into power and into charge. But you have to take now again, you have to take risks to make money. Some risks don't work. Elon got caught with his pants down and had to pay $45 billion for Twitter because he opened his mouth and said it. But at the same time, you got somebody like Mark Zuckerberg who turned around and tried to recreate Facebook into Meta to make the next evolution of social media and interaction.
Mankind.
And that's just an absolute fucking failure. Like it's a fucking failure. It's just really, really bad.
This was someone taking this whole, and I'll preface this with my opinion.
What?
So, well, I'm just saying my opinion, so that whatever comes next, people don't think this is facts for some reason.
You know what that means, people.
Because I am wearing the blue shirt, so some people might think I'm verified, but what I'm saying is hard fact. But in my opinion, Facebook has embraced, right, wrong, or indifferent, the whole philosophy of malleable identity. You can be what you want to be.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I mean, hence Meta. I mean, that's what Meta is. You build an avatar, you make it look like what you want it, what you
But
wish you
don't you
were,
think?
or
But
whatever,
don't you think
right?
Facebook is a little bit more, unlike Twitter or other ones like Mastodon or anything? Don't you think Facebook is more like the real you, or you still think it's a
Hell
lot of
no.
bullshit? Oh, okay.
Hell no. How many people have been caught posting their pictures and someone's like, "Isn't that that's a Google stock photo. You
Oh,
never
right.
went
Yeah.
there."
Yeah.
You know
Good
what I'm
point.
saying? I
Good point.
mean, Facebook is not the real you. 99% of Facebook, if you go out there, you don't have people with life problems, they're real issues. They're talking about how wonderful everything is, how
Yeah,
awesome everything is.
that's true. Yeah.
It,
Well,
it it's a fantasy land.
but
And that's what Meta
Meta's
was
not.
going to be. Meta was going to be the fantasy land for your identity. You could go into Meta, you could be whatever you wanted to be, build your avatar to look like you want to be, present yourself as a guy if you're a girl, and vice versa, or a furry, or whatever you want to do. And no one can question it because that's what they're seeing. They're seeing what you want them to see.
Okay, I can get behind that.
All right. Well, guess what? Reality has a way of crushing dreams, Mark.
Yeah, it's true. And it's crushing so bad. We reported on the show before about how much money they lost last fiscal year and this coming fiscal year and this year so far. And now they had a mass layoff of 11,000 people. And they're done with their portal service. Now, the portal service was a little screen, kind of like the Google screens. I thought, as much as I don't use Facebook, you don't use Facebook, we hate that shit. I did think this was a good product for the grandmas and grandpas that are using Facebook. My ex-mother-in-law, who's from Portugal, this is like a godsend to her because she can hit up this portal and get in contact, FaceTime basically, with people, her relatives in Portugal. That's fucking brilliant. That's what, and this is one of the products that I think is brilliant. That's how you connect people. That's what we want. We want those things that you can easily connect people. I can't explain to my ex-mother-in-law Discord. I could barely get her to understand FaceTime, and that works when it does work. But outside of that, any other way to do this thing is confusing. Oh, put a camera on top of your TV, then go to this app, then click this, then click your friend. That's too much work for a lot of people. And I think Portal was a good way to do this. And granted, it was less than 1% of their global market, but I think it still had a place. And
Oh,
from what I
but
read, good.
you're right, and it's dying for now. But that, I mean, everything, it's moving in that direction.
But their whole goal for that portal thing was to go into enterprise, which you and I both know that's a big space. That is a big fucking ambitious space to be in. Because you might not know it as an average listener or as one of the sheeple, but the stuff that happens at home, Discord, Facebook, those things are not a dime a dozen, but they're few and far between because it never really took off. But in the enterprise realm, Cisco's got a solution, Netgear's got a solution. Everybody has a solution for conferencing in the business space. So I think that's one of the reasons why, like, you should have came out with this on both levels, on enterprise and on consumer, but you didn't. You chose consumer first, and that's why it kind of died. But then they were also working on a watch, which again, I get it. You want to be in another space where you have another IP and you can make more money, but at the same time, a watch, a Facebook watch, who the fuck is buying that? It's like fucking Snapchat glasses or whatever the fuck they were. Who buys that shit? Nobody's buying that shit. But that's going too. And Mark said in the town hall meeting that Meta's focus has changed as well. Yeah, we already talked about that. Meta's focus on actually getting it to actually work. They're now focused on AI discovery. Okay, I can see that, Mark. Okay, you go with you. Ads, you piece of shit. Business, okay, again, I get it. That ship has sailed, Mark. Business Facebook or business, and I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to get people to buy a $1,600 mask to put on to have a meeting with somebody. Look, Mark, you can say whatever the fuck you want. We already hate Zoom calls and Zoom meetings, and we even hate team meetings more. They're awful. Nobody wants to do that shit. Nobody. So having me in a virtual reality is even worse. And it takes way more. It's one thing to sit there and put up, a Teams meeting and then work on something on the side or go off and get yourself a drink or something. That's one thing. To be trapped into a headset, not be able to see the real world and just sitting there working on your virtual desktop, I get your idea. It's just, it's not ready yet. It's not something that we're going to do. And the long-term focus for Metaverse Free is
The Matrix.
is essentially the Matrix, yeah. They want people just to be in there. And again, we've said it on the show before, Freebo and I, go watch Surrogate with Bruce Willis. If you want to see how the end game is going to turn out, go watch Surrogate with Bruce Willis. Because that's exactly what Metaverse is going to turn into. Exactly. It's not going to turn into Ready Player One. Get that fucking idea out of here. It's not. It's going to turn into Surrogate is what it's going to turn into. Some 400-pound sweaty dude that hasn't cleaned his house in a week, sitting in his recliner with the best gaming headset to jump into Metaverse, and he spent all of his money on the hottest avatar he could possibly get.
Yeah.
So expect that shit to happen. But I have to give Mark his devil his due. Did you see the severance package he gave those 11,000 people?
Yeah, it was fair, more than fair.
Well, what do you mean more than fair? This was pretty, I want this severance package. When my company eventually eradicates my job, which I'm pretty much thinking it's going to in the next 5 years, I want this kind of severance package. So Mark did them right, and I have to admit that. The severance package was 16 weeks of pay plus 2 weeks additional for every year of work. That's fucking awesome. But it didn't end there. You got all your PTO time paid back, which is always good. A lot of companies do that. You got 3 months of career support. So they will literally help you find another job in your career field. And you get to keep your health care for 3 months fully paid. That is a severance package, my friend.
Yeah.
That is I'm sorry. I want all the major companies, retail outlets, corporations, I want them all to take note that a company as shitty as fucking Facebook/Meta was able to give severance packages like this. This is how to give a severance package, because that sets the person up to get another career and get another job and not have to miss a bill payment or a mortgage payment or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's one thing to sit there and, hey, here's 2 weeks extra of your paycheck. Okay, thank you. I'm going to collect unemployment and I'm going to try to get another job. This is completely different. You can do one of two things. You can either ride this shit out and not worry about it, or you can actually utilize their career support opportunity for 3 months and help them get another job, get another career, focus on something else. And that's just kind of the way to go. I just truly feel. And that's not, and as we said in the opening of the show, duct tape's not going to fix it. And finally, in the screwed.
Sorry, helicopter circled.
What'd you do?
I don't know. May have to go to the bunker though.
That bunker's going to have to connect my property and your property. Just by a door.
We can't discuss the bunker on air.
Okay, fine.
We can mention it, but we can't discuss how it works or where it is.
And finally, in the screwed category, Free, Mickey's done. And I'm kind of,
yes and no.
Oh, well, okay. I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with this. So, for those that don't know, copyright laws are kind of funny. And how it works is copyright laws are basically 100 years. Basically, overshadow, it's 100 years. Think of it like that. Your copyright lasts 100 years if you can keep it maintained. So originally, Mickey Mouse appeared in 1928 in Steamboat Willie, as you see in the video, and as we all know, the Steamboat Willie cartoon. That was also the first. I didn't know this. That was also the first film Free to use synchronized sound.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, again, that stuff, that cartoon stuff that like Warner Brothers, Disney in the early days, that shit interests me so much. They broke ground everywhere. From Mel Blanc doing multiple voices to Foley effects, just great stuff. In the U.S., copyright for original works lasts 70 years after the author's death. All right? So that means with this particular one, Disney, it's 95 years. So 70 years after the author's death. But what people don't realize is that other versions of the mouse remain in copyright. So say if I didn't realize
and
this
that's
either.
the thing. And the other thing is trademarks don't expire.
No,
So
they're
if they can
recognizable.
prove-
So they're
if they can
recognizable
prove-
symbols, though. They're recognizable symbols.
Right, and I'm getting to that. So
All
if
right.
you can prove that Steamboat Willie is recognized as a Disney icon, then they can keep people from taking it under trademark law.
Yeah, yeah.
Where have you been seeing a lot of Steamboat Willie in the last several years?
Pornhub? No.
Not that Steamboat Willie. The
Are
Disney
you
one.
sure? I'm not sure you're right, man.
It's the intro. If you watch a lot of Disney stuff, they
Yeah.
have Steamboat Willie, that segment of him at the helm of the boat, whistling.
Yeah.
They've been using that in the intros to their movies for years now.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you think?
I don't know. I didn't even know that.
To make it identifiable as Disney only, so they can keep it secure under trademark law.
Really? You're kidding.
Yeah. No. Why else would they pull that out of the archive and just start slapping it in the beginning of shows and movies?
I never thought about that. I just thought because I was just bringing it up at work the other day. In fact, one of my employees came up with a great hack for this. So I was discussing the fact that why haven't you seen Disney come out with anything Mickey related in a while? You haven't on the Disney Channel or anything else. There really hasn't been a lot of Mickey work. My argument was, well, 100 years is up and Mickey's done. Mickey's thing. And when I started reading this article, I started realizing that it was just basically for Steamboat Willie. It was going to be a lot of things. But one of my employees made me laugh. He goes, why don't they just file a new trademark for Michael Mouse, but he goes by Mickey? I was like, dude, that is big brain thinking. You could take a little bit extra on your lunch today.
Yeah, exactly.
That was great.
Thanks for the chuckle.
Right. So,
But yeah, think about it. I mean, you never saw anything about Steamboat Willie. Never saw that cartoon unless
Yeah, they didn't really show it.
You watched a documentary or something
Right,
about the
right.
birth of Disney. But if you look, you pay attention now, you'll see it. Go on Disney Plus, just click through some shows and stuff and start them up, and you'll see a little 15-second clip of Steamboat Willie.
oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that little, him shaking at the wheel
Yeah,
or dancing at the wheel.
doing this little whistle thing. And,
Yeah.
Why? Why did they all of a sudden decide to start using that? It's because
I
the
feel you.
copyright's
Yeah.
running out, and they're trying to make it a trademark icon.
Again, trademark is a recognizable signal, different from a copyright. A trademark
Yeah.
is a recognizable signel. Best
Trademark
example,
doesn't have. You don't even have to like our stick style logo. We don't have to do anything
Yeah.
to copyright that or patent it, whatever. There's nothing involved. It's just if that's recognized as your company, then nobody else can use it.
right? And the symbol speaks for itself. This is kind of similar. So to wrap your heads around it, sheeple, it's very similar to what happened with Winnie the Pooh. So Winnie the Pooh went public in 2022. Shut up. I know where you're going. They joined the public domain in 2022. Now you can see a cartoon with Winnie the Pooh as a serial killer. And guess what? There is. Winnie the Pooh, called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, is coming out. And the director told Variety magazine that they're fully aware of the copyright law and the trademark law, and they're not afraid of it at all. And I don't hate them for that. You know what the law is. You let it expire. I think Disney owns the rights to Winnie the Pooh now, but
they do.
you let it expire,
Okay.
and you can lose your trademark if it becomes bigger than your brand. So a good example of that, and this is what really blew my mind, and I want the sheeple. oops. I fucking lost it. I want the sheeple to really listen to this because the trademark and the brand is two different things. So think about it like this: aspirin. Aspirin's a brand. Escalator's a brand. Thermos is a brand. Google is a brand. And my personal favorite, Kleenex. Yo, give me that box of Kleenex over there. That's a brand. That's not the actual item, but we've associated the item. Google got into some hot water with this, and they're arguing in the courts, I believe, still about this. Because unfortunately, their brand, Google, has become a verb. Hey, I want to go Google that. Hey, why don't you Google that? Why don't you go Bing that? Why don't you go dogpile that? Why don't you go ask Jeeves? But Google's become such a brand that they cannot trademark or copyright it anymore because it's become a lexicon of the English language of.
I tried real hard to get once you Earthlink that to catch on, but it never did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You just have to wait and see if you get a Pornhub of Steamboat Big Willie.
Dude, that's so Netscape.
Oh, you douche canoe. All right, let's get into this week's music because I think that's going to be fun. So what we did this week, and
hey, why don't you IRC me?
Oh, that's a good example though. Honestly, Internet Relay Chat literally works with so many different things in the background you don't even realize it. It's all the same. This week's music. So I picked this, and originally, so what we do for the behind the scenes shit for people is that when Freemo and I put the music in, we put like 3 or 4 in. He'll contribute, I'll contribute, and then we pick one. Freemo's awesome. Freemo started the rating system with like, I like this one, but I don't like this one so much. But if we have to go with this one, then we will. So this week I kind of superseded that because I found this song, and it moved me, and not because of the lyrics or anything like that, because of the way the song was built. So the name of the band is the Raconteurs. And this is a Jack White band. Well, I don't even want to say it's not.
I mean, he's obviously a heavy influence in it, but
he's in it.
This is it's interesting because when I saw you put that in and there was no choices, I was like, okay, I don't have a problem with that. For one, I love the Raconteurs. Love them.
Yep.
Okay. I think that they are the most underrated supergroup that's ever existed. Because they are a supergroup. If you look who makes up the Raconteurs, they're all legitimate musicians from other bands in their own right.
Yep.
White Stripes, Hives, etc.
Yep.
And their sound is completely unique, but makes you think of so many other bands. I read through some comments while I was listening to this. I'm looking at the comments.
Oh, yeah, your comment boy.
And while I'm listening to the song, and people were one guy was like, reminds me of Lee Bon Scott, AC/DC days. And I stopped and I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see that. So yeah, I mean, they anyway, fantastic band. Love
Here's
it.
my take on this
Great
song. And the reason you're right, and the reason why we picked this song is because as a musician, I don't even call myself a full-time musician. I've been in bands, I've played on stage, I've played gigs, I've traveled. I'm nothing to write home about at all. That's why I'm fucking doing this right now. But as a musician, I understand how music works. So a lot of times the example I would give would be Tool. Tool is the musician's musician. When you listen to a Tool song, even if you just listen to it and it blows your mind, understand that musicians, it also blows our mind. Because it's just, they're doing different time signatures and the way Maynard's voice is and the drumming, it's a whole nother level. This song from the Raconteurs is Bored and Razed. Everything from the song explains, I think, how good of a band they are, as Freemo was saying. Because Bored and Razed is not born and raised. It's spelled even differently, the raised part. Not only is the lyrics really something, I implore you to click on the link in the show notes because that's the lyrical version of the song. But this song
is art in and of itself too.
Correct. The video is art. The lyrics play off of so many different things in lyrics. The harmonies are just spot on. And then you add the musical influence. So when you hear this song, there's parts of it that just scream jazz. And then you have an influence of like new metal. And then you have an infinite. It's just, this song literally is layered so well by this group that there's a lot of, they have a lot of good songs, but this one is the one I would hand to a musician, where you have other songs you hand, oh dude, you like that kind of rock sound? Here you go. Here's, oh shit, I can't even think of another one right now. I have like 3 of them on my playlist, but here's another Raconteurs. This one is the one you hand to other musicians. Oh, you never heard of them? Here, dude, listen to this song.
Yeah, have you? I'm sure you've heard their song "Carolina Drama."
Oh my God, what a great track! What a
That
great, tells the
may be,
story.
yeah, that may be the best, like
The Milkman, like it's
storytelling
just,
song of all time.
I
I mean, I
agree.
love that song and the music behind it, the transitions, the tempo changes, accompanying the story. I
Oh,
mean, it's phenomenal.
so good,
It's phenomenal.
so good. Oh, it's, it's the
These guys are
Milkman.
what music should be. Yeah,
I agree.
and then they'll tell the story and they wrap it up with a. Nobody really understands
Like one line
where's
too.
that phrase come from.
One line
Yeah.
explains the entire song. It's just, it's so good. So good. All right, enough of that. Let's get into Bored and Raised, and we'll catch you on the other side for Stickstyle. We have some interesting news, and we're going to launch our Christmas time type. What the fuck? Everybody else is doing it free. We might as well too. We'll start launching our holiday type gift guide shit. All right, here's the Rick Tours.
Couldn't wait one more week. Couldn't wait one more week.
I can't.
Get Thanksgiving out of the way. We're just gonna go off. This holiday's just it's gone.
No, because I have a surprise for everybody, and I'll let you know right now. I have a surprise that I actually have a highlight show coming. I have saved clips from BGFG for the whole year. and
Oh,
I
Lord.
was going to put it together. So that's kind of our Christmas end. We always run out of time anyway. Anyway, let's get to it. This is Bored and Raised. We'll catch you on the other side. It's just good stuff. It just sounds. There's jazz in there. There's rock in there. There's blues in there. It just goes on and on. I think that's. Again, I said it before. I'm not going to say it again. All right, so let's get into this week's stick style. But before we do that, we are drinking, as we do. And I have my Modelo Negro, and Fremo does too. Nice. Cheers to you, my friend.
Clink.
Oh, that's good stuff. And of course, I have my whiskey because, it's whiskey. It's whiskey.
Nostrovia.
Why do you drink beer and whiskey on your show? I work in retail.
Because I can.
All right. So I'm going to hit you with this free because, I can.
Okay.
I don't even know if you can hear it. Okay, so it's the holiday gift guide. Music, especially. And collectibles. I'll soon have the video, so I have pictures and I have video of I got finally in the mail. I got the God of War Ragnarok Jotnar edition. And I have to say that the hammer is pretty substantial.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let me, hold on. Let me grab it. You'll see the unboxing video in a little bit, but Fremo, check this out.
Nice.
That's a fucking hammer right there. And it's solid. It's nice. Well done. So you'll be able to go to Stick Style on YouTube and you'll be able to see the unboxing of that, the Jotnar edition. It shouldn't be too long. It's relatively easy to do. And it's not that much. So one of the things you can get for Christmas this year, if you so chose, and I have the picture up in the show notes, is you can get yourself, from the 1989 Batman movie, you can get yourself a Batman grapnel gun. If you really need to. And it's from Paragon Effects Group and Warner Brothers. It's got a custom...
I gotta say, I was very disappointed it doesn't actually function.
Yeah. It doesn't function, and I'm sorry about that. It doesn't. But
it looks friggin' phenomenal.
Right. It's got a Pelican case with the Batman logo on it, which I think is awesome. It's a hand unit. It's got a grapnel attachment. It's got machine brass dart attachment. So we're talking high quality, people. Like brass attachment. It doesn't fire. Because people like Fremo and my kids would sit there shooting each other. I tell you right now, you run or you take the trash. One or the other. It's got a bolo attachment, which is nice that you can't function. None of this can be launched. But it looks perfect. If you look at even the link in the show notes, it's just perfectly done. It's an actual replica. And as a collector, as you can see behind me, as a collector, I love stuff that's a real replica. It's one thing to send me like that hammer. That hammer is not a real hammer. The Mjolnir hammer that I have somewhere in the house is not a real hammer. It's right. A resin plastic hammer, but it's legit. It looks real. It's an exact copy of the size it should be, or whatever they used in the movie, things like that. You can pre-order that now for your perfect Batman collection for only, Fremo, $800.
Okay. I know we said we weren't going to spend that much on each other for Christmas, but I did order you two.
No, fuck you. I don't want it. Like, I'm not, like, I love Batman. I think Batman's a great character right beside Superman. But I look at the two characters, Batman and Superman, as exact opposites. Like, Superman is great. It's a great character. But the problem is it's too good of a character. It has to have flaws. Batman has flaws. Batman is an ordinary man that has flaws. Where Superman can't have flaws. Superman just can't. It'll destroy everything.
It's called kryptonite.
It's not weakness. I'm saying a flaw. Like he can't compromise himself
Okay.
and pick up a
He's
hooker
got
one
no.
night.
He's got no sense of style. Have you seen that stupid curl?
Yes. Can you see? Can you see reading the comic book that Batman got lonely one night and got a hooker and then threw her out like you're done and told her to leave.
Straight up went GTA on her. What are you talking about?
Okay. Can you see Superman doing that? No, you can't. What? You're full of shit. That's no.
Bullshit. How you want to define hooker? Are we just going to go with traditional woman stereotype?
Really? That's bullshit. All right. Enough of that. Let's get into the holiday spirit. I'm not going to have this debate. We could literally do an entire segment on a debate between Superman and Batman between the two of us because either one of us can take either side and have a great debate.
Dude, I could take any side of any argument, frustrate the crap out of you.
That is true. That is 100% true.
You can give me the most unattainable, undefendable position on something, and I would run with it just for the sake of a good debate.
I don't disagree with you, and you would get me frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get started in the holiday spirit because, again, it seems like everybody's fucking doing it early. What can you get the gamer in your life? Here's some suggestions early in Christmas because you need to get the shit done early. If you're not
with Thanksgiving highlighted,
shut up. If you're not, if you're trying to get your loved one, and I think you'll agree, if you're trying to get your loved one a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, start now.
Yeah,
They're still in limited quantity.
You might be able to pull that off between now and Christmas.
Yeah. And I'm not. And look, I work in retail
Without breaking the bank. I mean, you can always go pay $5,000.
Oh my God, yeah. But start that shit now. But what I will tell you, and Fremo, I'm sure will agree, is that one of the things that us gamers love more than anything else is controllers. A good controller will set you off. Or a good keyboard.
It's hard to play the games without them.
That is true.
Especially with console gaming. I mean, it's kind of essential.
Yeah, so first up is going to be the PDP controller, which is a company I just found recently, and I love their concept. So they offer a bunch of different controllers for Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Switch. They offer a bunch of different controllers, your standardized controllers. But their Vitrex line is really where it's at, I think. It's more of the Pro controller. And it's pretty sweet. It's got interchangeable modules. So like say on your right side where you have the joystick and the buttons usually, you can replace that entire module with a Street Fighter type one where you need the 6 buttons. You can replace it with that. What I'm curious about, and I couldn't get an answer before the show, is if you take the module that has the joystick, can you flip it, like rotate it 180 degrees, and get those joysticks to be on the same horizontal plane? Because I truly feel that that's a game changer. When you have a controller that have both thumbsticks on the same horizontal plane, I really feel that's a game changer. When I touched that Steam Deck, and it had both thumbsticks on the same horizontal plane, dude, I could have played that for hours, bro. Hours without even any argument at all. So I think that's a key thing. But the fact that you can exchange these modules, I think is very good. It's a substantial controller. You can use it for PlayStation or Xbox, and it's $180. Now, people might be listening to the show going, $180, that's a lot of fucking money. You're right, it is. But when you're a gamer, this is average. Look, people, if you have gamers in your life, start getting your mind around the $200 concept. Because almost everything can be bought or sold at around $200. Microphones, headsets, anything common that's of good quality at all is going to be around $200. Just face the facts, deal with it, own up to it. And this is one of them. This PDP controller, and we put a link in the show notes. The PDP controller is a solid controller. It's a good controller. I've had my hands on one. I can't say that anything on that
I
is
love
different.
the throwback on their naming.
What do you mean?
The Vitrix Pro BFG.
Big fucking gun. It's a good controller. Or maybe you want to be a purist. Maybe your guy, your person that you're buying for, your guy or girl, is a purist. Well, then you have choices for the purists. You have choices from both Xbox and PlayStation. So for Xbox, for instance, there's the Design Lab. And the Design Lab is very cool.
To answer your question.
What?
Oh, dude, I'm about to make you friggin' happy. Hold on a second.
Oh, no.
Keep
please.
talking.
No, I want to see how you're going to make me happy. I want to go grab a cigar. What are you making me happy with?
Oh, you're going to say,
Yeah, last time you said that, I ended up in jail overnight
yeah.
for indecent exposure.
And that's where you met your boyfriend, so
That's not true.
Made you happy.
That's not true. Not true at all.
I'm going to
Not
save
even.
this file under the name of
Yes, I
Phoenix
smoke a
is
cigar. I'm not
happy.
saying it's loaded or not. I'm just saying it's a cigar. So Xbox Design Lab is from Microsoft directly. You can design your own controller. You can design a regular controller or you can design an Elite 2 controller. It's your choice. Even the accessory kit for the Elite can be customized, which is also nice. So you can get the case customized, the flappers customized, replacement joysticks customized. You can do it all. The regular controller is $70 on the design team, which is cool. Do I have a design one? Do I? No, I do not have a design one right now down here.
Okay, check your Discord.
Okay. Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
Well, you shouldn't. You see the JPEG I sent you?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Nope. So the regular controller is $70 and the Elite controller. So think about this, Free. You can get an Elite controller. Now, we have gone on the show and tested both. I think we both agreed that the Elite controller of the first series is better than the second series, but the second series is here to stay and you're not going to be able to change it. So the extra kit with the case, oh, there it is. Oh, Free. Oh, that is nice. That is nice right there. Joysticks on an even plane. Oh, I might have to get that. So,
And that's for the PS4 or 5 or PC.
oh, that's good stuff. You know what I'll tell you after the controllers. So the Elite version is $150. The regular version is $70. If you can afford $70 for a gamer in your life, this is the way to go. Just ask them what their favorite colors are, or ask them what their favorite game is. Right, Free? If their favorite game is like Fortnite, you can find the colors for that. If their favorite game is something, if they have a logo like we do, you can coordinate that color. Either way, they're going to be really happy to get a controller that's customized, especially if they have their name on the bottom, which you can do, free engraving. The Elite is $150. Again, the Elite controller is a substantial controller and a good controller for a really hardcore gamer. If you got a gamer in your life that just lays back and kind of games, the $70 one customized is fine. If you got a gamer that literally spends hours playing the game every day, then get the $150. The kit is the old style full series Elite controller for $80. That's an additional $80. So you're looking at $200 plus a little bit. You can probably find it for about $200, but still, it's customized, and that's badass. I probably will be getting one before long. That's what a gamer would want. But maybe they're a PlayStation fan. if they're a
Yeah.
PlayStation fan, we got you there too. You're not going to be able to get the customization colors, but you will be able to get the DualSense Edge, which I think is I cannot wait to get that and review it. I can't wait because I think this has so much potential. And the reason why I think it has so much potential, and I'll put the picture up. The reason why I think this has so much potential is literally the finger buttons on the backside.
Yeah.
On Xbox, there's 4. You can put 2 in, doesn't matter where. I just think I don't use them because, again, I want to use them for like shifting in cars, in racing games. But it's just they're just not that great. They're just not. The rest of the controller is great, but they're just the finger buttons aren't that great. The DualSense Edge really fixes that. They have an exchange between a double button or a single button. And the single button is a big fat button. If you look at the picture on the link, you'll see it. It's really just like nice. And the fact that it's kind of like, so it's got interchangeable buttons, it's got replaceable stick modules, and it's a combination, I think, it's a combination of the PDP controller and the Elite 2. And that's really something right there. But it's for PlayStation. You can pre-order it now for $200. So it's not cheap, but still, it's a great choice for PlayStation people. It's not going to be out till January 23rd, I think, is when it is. But it's pretty solid, dude. Pretty solid.
Yeah. And the fact that you can save different profiles,
Yeah.
player profiles, so that's good. You don't have
That's
to
good.
worry about your kid coming in and jacking up your controls, your sensitivities, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Or your invert. See, I'm one of those
Yeah.
psychopaths that use an invert. I get made fun of by every fucking kid in my family. Every child, all 5.
And that's another reason why you should appreciate me. I'm still friends with you in light of this knowledge.
So, in funny news, speaking of that, Bungie wants you to help them out. Now, Fremo and I haven't been really Bungie fans since they bailed on Halo.
Oh, now you're going to get on the Fremo anti-Bungie bandwagon. I got
No,
you.
not necessarily. But I think their selling of Halo, I think, was a fucking awful business idea. Awful. If you think for one moment that Destiny 2 is going to make the same value for your company as Halo, you're sadly mistaken and you're delusional. I think that was a bad idea. But I understand it from a business sense because you need to focus on one large game as opposed to 2 large games. I'm looking at you, EA, directly. Because you constantly did multiple large IPs and some of them just suck and they shouldn't. So
Yeah.
Bungie wants your help, and you might ask how. They're asking for people to stop playing the older version of Destiny on the new consoles. I'm a victim of this too, because my son, one of my youngest son, wanted to play Destiny 2 with me, and I was like, I don't have it. Let me just download it. Okay. I can't really find the PlayStation 5 version of it, so let me just download the PlayStation 4 version of it and play it on both consoles. They actually, with the updated version, you get better frame rates and you get better resolution. So it's I understand why Bungie wants to push you to that, but
There's some other behind the scenes crap that they're not telling anybody. Making havoc for them. That's why. Version.
Oh yeah. It's a graphics thing. I guarantee it. Check the link in the show notes as to how to change that for them. Do them a solid.
It's a real simple 47-step process.
That's actually, I would say like 15-step process. But yeah, it's a process. So do them a solid. If you're playing Destiny 2, do them a solid and you have a PlayStation 5. Just upgrade it. Follow the instructions. We put the link in the show notes and do them solid. Because I get what they're saying. It's going to cause less havoc. No, Fremo won't. No.
Don't do it.
He's not going to do it just to piss them off.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
So I think it's the same. It's the same reason why Fremo and I never changed our gamer tag on Xbox when they sent out that alert to change the gamer tag. We were like, no, nope, not going to do it. You have to deal with it because we were OGs. Also in Xbox news, big news, Free, big news. So our favorite game will now become a series.
Oh, there's going to be a movie and a series.
Yes, there is.
There's going to be a live action movie and then an animated. And you know what the funny thing is? Out of everything that I've heard about it and looked at it, the people involved with it, their biggest concern is making sure that it does not involve Chris Pratt.
I don't understand that whole
I don't
mentality.
get that.
I don't get that either.
Yeah, and then I'm sitting there and I'm reading it and I'm like, are you kidding me? He could be, I mean, one person said he could be every Carbine.
Say yes.
Carbine dies in every.
Oh my God, yes.
A brother's Carbine dies in every Gears, right? I mean,
yeah, make him a
like
Carbine. Yeah, make him a Carbine. All you have to do.
I think he would absolutely, because that was such a funny character anyway. I think he could absolutely nail that. Honestly,
I think that if you just look, I know nobody listens to us.
Or Baird.
I know, no, not Baird. Baird needs to be somebody else. But I think Carmine
a little more snarky.
Yeah, I think Carmine could be awesome as Chris Pratt could do that. And all you have to do, people at Coalition, all you have to do is just change on the audio settings, just change it a little bit, his voice for each brother. Because they're brothers, so they all kind of talk the same. They have the same attitude and everything. Just change the dynamic of the audio that he's laying down. Just let him lay down the audio for all of them. I think it's brilliant. And this is a game that's 16 years old. And as you'll see in the upcoming, I have a lot of editing to do today. As you'll see, Fremo and I have both, with 4 people, made it to level 50 in Horde on Gears. We've made it just the 2 of us on level 50, and we'll keep doing stuff like that and up in the difficulty and all that shit. But this game is 16 years old, and to mark the occasion, Coalition decided to partner with Netflix, and I think that's a brilliant idea. You know, for the live action film and the series, but they're also talking about an adult animated series. They're not doing a live action, which I'm kind of for and against. But guess who wants to be the lead actor on this?
The movie or the series?
I think the movie.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, I'm gonna go with someone who's stated he wants to play Phoenix.
Yes. Dave Bautista, former wrestler, Drax. You didn't know that?
Of course I knew that.
Oh,
I was gonna throw a funny out there and recommend you, but
oh yeah, I would love to be. I would love to be just a side actor in that. Chris Phoenix as Marcus Phoenix' illegitimate younger brother. his drunk brother.
I'm trying to figure out where I fit in the whole Gears universe.
I'm going to go with the brother that wouldn't sign up for the military and then got drafted. Oh, I got this whole story arc, dude. I got a whole story
obviously
arc.
I can't be Dom. If I tried to be Cole, then I'd get just hammered with appropriation crap.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think you would do okay as Baird.
Thank you. That's where I was headed with that.
Yes.
Earlier when I said you need to be a little more snarky for Baird.
Also celebrating.
I can so pull off some Baird comments.
You could. Also celebrating an anniversary is Xbox Live. Not just Xbox, but Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Now, Free.
Have you checked to see if you got your little thing yet?
Hold on. I haven't.
But I haven't either.
November 15th.
Be there.
I'm going to get to that in a second. November 15th, 2002, Live launched. Me, Fremo, Halo Cruiser, Pedal, MacPack, Fatal Fastlane. We all met on the original Xbox Live, which was a demo disc with not PGR, MotoGP. I don't even remember what one it was. Maybe O2, I would say. But I think it was listed as like the first one. So MotoGP. We all met on there, and I think that same year we started doing a podcast. Like way back, before podcasts were even possible. But this was 1 year after the Xbox release. And again, as Freemo and I have stated numerous times on this show, why, Microsoft, you continually fuck us OGs. Okay? Freemo and I have been there since the launch. Fatal's been there since the launch. Hadal Cruiser's been there since the launch. We've all been there since launch. We've never changed our name. We've paid every year for what?
20 years.
20 years we've paid. And you're going to give us a fucking badge. That's all you're going to give us. That's it.
It better be there.
It better fucking be there. A 20-year badge. And again, I'll put it up, and it's on the show right now if you're watching live. It's or on video on YouTube. It's the 20-year badge, and you know what? Fuck you all. We deserve that. We've been there since the launch, and you keep shunning us. You gave me an Avatar T-shirt at one point. You gave us an icon. Like, come on, man. Throw us a bone. There can't be many of us. There can't be many of us that have OG names that don't work for Microsoft. No numbers or any added.
That have paid every single year. Never let it lapse.
Right. Absolutely. That's 100%.
There can't be that many of us.
There can't be. So throw us a bone, please, Microsoft. Not that you're listening to this podcast, but come on, hook us up. Do us something solid other than a fucking 20-year badge. Really?
We should do something to try and get some notice, like do some hashtag Major Nelson or at Major Nelson or
I might hit him up directly. Yeah. I feel you. I want to get on that. I actually am. And lastly this week, let's talk about keyboards. Another holiday gift guide for the gamer.
Talk about keyboards.
This is another thing for gamers that not all of us use keyboards. Not all of us use controllers. So like my kids, I have my oldest son that uses
we
both.
all use our thumbs.
Nice. My oldest son uses mixture. My youngest son uses exclusively keyboard. He doesn't understand how anybody plays on a controller. They all play. Shut up. They all play on. Well, I'm just saying. I shouldn't say that. That was rude of me. That was wrong. I apologize.
Wait a minute. I don't like this new kindler, gentler. Stop it now, because I will eat that guy alive.
I know. But look, I've tried keyboarding recently again, and I just can't do it. I got to use a controller. But the keyboard people have a legitimate, like, there's a lot. So one of the things that keyboard people like is a 60% keyboard. So there's multiple types. And we're going to put a link in the show notes for all the different types of keyboards, but we're going to talk about 60%ers right now. So there's you have three sizes essentially.
The easiest way to explain this, most laptops have a 60% keyboard.
Okay,
that's what you're looking at. Roughly, I get that there's some differences, but I'm just trying to, for people that are like keyboards, I thought they were all the same. No. Traditional keyboard for your computer, when it comes in the box, has 110 keys, give or take.
Yep.
Some people add some buttons, some people take some away, but essentially you're looking at a standard full-size keyboard has a number pad on.
Correct.
Most laptops, unless you've got specifically get a larger laptop. With the same type keyboard, most laptops don't have that number pad. And that's what we're talking about, is that smaller keyboard,
right? Less
buttons.
So
that's essentially what a 60% keyboard is.
Well, yes. The full-size keyboard without the number pad is a 10 keyless keyboard. But then the 60% keyboards take that even a step farther than the 10 keyless because it doesn't have media. So it's 61 keys on it, and you have to use function keys to get any of the alternate keys. So it's really designed for people that are just typing and using it for gaming. And what it is like there's a lot of them out there. Like the Razer Huntsman Mini is considered the best one out there. The HyperX Alloy Origin 60 is kind of crap. The Razer Black Widow is another choice, and the Corsair K65 is in there too. But it's the K65 is awful. I have the K65. I gave it to my younger son. My younger son went, "This is shit," and we put it on the spare computer. Like I don't even know where that keyboard is right now. It's just it doesn't work well. And all of these are around $100 to $150 price range, but they're good keyboards for people that want a new keyboard and use keyboards to game. Now, you have what my youngest did for his birthday and Christmas. He got a 60% keyboard that's custom made, and you can find these sites online. These motherfuckers are going to cost you like $250 for a keyboard.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily wireless. They're wired. They have a curly Q USB-C. You can get them with any switches that you want. And the switches are basically how you like it to feel. So in a nutshell, the two types of switches are, do you want the volume loud, like clicky, like an old style keyboard that you're typing on, or do you want them quiet? And you can get any range in between. The other thing is the actuator, like when it actually senses you're pressing, and those are tactile or linear. So those are the two differences, but you can get a lot of range in between those and customize it. When you spend $250 on the keyboard, you get that type of range and customization, and they're soldered into the keyboard. So you get a aluminum plate, aluminum bottom, a brass plate, and you get these key switches that are soldered in that you wanted on there. And then you can put whatever keycaps you want on there. You can pull them out and put in, once you can buy it at Best Buy or Micro Center, or you can get something that you're going to get at, a custom shop on Amazon or online. So there's a lot, but the Cherry keys are pretty much where it's at. And usually you can pick whichever one you want. Very noisy or very quiet. As soon as I breathe on it, it registers, or when I hit the bottom, it registers.
Yeah.
I have the Corsair 60%, and the 60% is halfway decent. I don't have any complaints with the 60%, other than it's not for keyboard gaming. But for a standard keyboard, it's fine. I am rocking the Corsair 10 keyless here at the studio because I like the arrow keys. I don't really use the media keys, but I like the arrow keys being there. Upstairs at the family computer, I have a full 100 and whatever it is keyboard with a number pad, because again, you're doing business up there and stuff. Corsair, though, Free, didn't take this sitting down when they got shit on. Not even a little. They turned around and came out with the K70 Mini, which is pretty cool. It's the K70 Pro Wireless Mini, I think is the actual name of it. This blew my mind. Again, Corsair's done some stuff recently, like their co-company, Elgato, came out with a 4K webcam. I don't see the need, but I'm really appreciative that they came out with a 4K, that when you wave your hand, there's no lag. That's a huge thing with 4K webcams right now. Not buying a DSLR camera and using a webcam, that's huge. And it's a little bit on the expensive side, but if you want 4K, that's where it's at. We shoot on a 1080 here at BGFG, and I think that's fine. It looks fine. But Corsair came out with this keyboard.
We're not moving fast enough to make a difference.
No. Corsair came out with this keyboard, the K70 Mini Pro, or K70 Pro Mini. It's got an aluminum chassis like the expensive models. It's got a removable USB-C. It is wireless, which is cool. But there's more. What they did, I thought, was fucking brilliant. They have removable switches. So they have hot swappable switches.
That's cool.
That is really fucking smart. So I could put, if I was a keyboard gamer, I could put all MX Cherry Blacks on this, Black Silence on there, the whole keyboard. But for the keys that I use, WSAD, let's just say that for now, WASD, SD, those keys I can switch those switches out for like a Cherry MX Reds that are tactile, just so I have that quick thing. I think that is absolutely brilliant for that. So what I tell people is that if you have a keyboard gamer in your life, here's what you want to do. I think you should turn around and it's going to be tricky for Christmas gift, but go out and go on Amazon and buy keycap switch sampler. And what you get is a little block that's got all the different Cherry keys on it. Amazon sells it. And all the different, they're labeled. So you can actually hit these keys and decide which ones you like. Once the person decides which ones they like, you can order from Corsair.com. You can order this keyboard and get the switches, choose the drop down, and they now have all the switches listed there. They didn't originally. When I put the show together, they didn't. Now they do. I checked it this morning. All the switches are right there. You can pick whatever switch you want on that keyboard and get it made like that. And if that person doesn't like those switches, they can swap them out for something else. And the best part is this keyboard is $180. That's it.
Extremely reasonable for everything you're getting. In fact, probably the best deal on a keyboard of this magnitude.
I would agree.
Honest.
I would agree. And I'm gonna 100% get one. I know I am. At the beginning of the new year after Christmas, I'm getting one. Because I love a silent keyboard. Like, I'm that douchebag that likes that Dell that you get with the box. Like, at work, we have a bunch of those generic keyboards. The Dells. Yeah. You've seen a million of them at your job. They come with every computer, or, here's our freebie. I like those keyboards. I type well on those keyboards. I don't need a lot of noise. The Alienware keyboard I have upstairs at the family computer, the stick-style computer, that one's got those extreme clicky keys, and I like it for typing, but outside of that, it's like, I don't want to use that shit. The keyboard's a full keyboard. It's too big. It clicks a lot. And then my middle son accidentally got a keyboard. He just picked a keyboard, but it had the extreme clicky ones. It was so friggin' annoying. I could hear him upstairs typing.
Like using a manual typewriter.
Yes. Yes. So it's definitely. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Again, I'm looking forward to reviewing it. I'll do an unboxing now that I have the whole setup down here in the studio. I'll be doing the unboxing for the keyboard as well and swapping out the keys live. But I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to see if everything they're saying is true, because there's only been like a handful left. I'd love for them to sponsor us or be affiliated with us to get this shit for review, but we're just simply not that popular yet. But with a lot of stuff going on.
All you got to do is unleash me. I'll get us so much publicity, and granted, 99.99% of it will be bad. But you know what they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Right. I agree with that 100%. I worked in radio, and that's true.
I could get us viral in a matter of moments. and then we could walk it back.
Walk it back. So I just think it's a good... There's a lot to cover.
Did you laugh when I said walk it back because you knew I was lying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much lying. So there's a lot going to be happening now that the studio's done. There's a lot that's going to be happening. We're going to be pushing more of stick style. We're going to be starting up with Discord more. We're going to be using Discord a lot more. Subtopia Null will be coming in 2023. I do promise that. Not yet. No, stop. He's not even got his headphones on because he's laughing so hard.
We have for 20 years perpetuated the best conspiracy theory of all. There's this show called Subtopia Null.
Right, because it's such a great name. I won't let go of it. And ironically, I've trademarked and copyrighted it.
I don't
so it's
blame
ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't. We will be launching that in 2023.
Actually, folks, it is a real thing. It is a real, but there's only a handful of people that actually are invited in.
Yeah.
They are the $5,000 donors.
Yes, you have to donate. It's like that. It's like those dinners that you go to for the politicians, where it's $2,000 a
This
plate.
knowledge, this information that we're providing. I mean, I'm not saying we're in it for the money, but know that
I can't remember.
The only way we can, since I was overruled on sacrifices, we had to go with a monetary compensation.
I can't remember exactly what president it was, but there was a president that had a plate dinner locally around here in New England, and I got invited to it.
$10,000 a plate.
I got invited. No, wait. I got invited to it, and it was a small establishment, and the idea was that they were gonna. And I was like, "Really? You're gonna invite me? That's pretty awesome." Well, what are they doing? Are they doing a full Q&A or no? There's a bunch of local politicians, but then that politician will come on stage for about 5 minutes, do a quick speech, and then leave. But you're contributing to their campaign donation. I'm like, really? And how much is that going to cost me? They're like $2,000. I'm like, okay. I know this
better be the best piece of freaking meat I've ever eaten in my.
That's the thing. That's exactly what my fat ass thought about. I went, okay. So I've been to this place before, and you want me to pay $2,000. I've had fish from there, I've had meat from there, and I've had poultry from there, and none of them were good. They were okay, they were passable, but that was at a wedding.
Right.
I'm not going to pay $2,000 to sit there, not ask any questions, listen to his fucking bullshit speech about how to get new voters and how he's endorsing the local people for $2,000. And I know, like you said, there's other ones. There's ones for President Trump, former President Trump, that were $10,000 at Mar-a-Lago. And I'm like, this is my brother has actually gone to some in Florida near his golf course for $5, $6, $7,000 plates.
Yeah, I don't.
And he's like, "Oh,
you better be serving me the last of a species."
Oh my God, that's awful.
Not the guy next to me, not the guy table over. Of whatever.
Yeah.
There is no more. Once you consume that, Freemo, there will never be another person that gets to experience that meat. Okay, I'm in. Yeah, I'll pay $7,000 for that.
I'm in, he says. All right, do you have anything else this week?
No, but I'm going to come up with a list of things that I would pay $7,000 to eat.
I don't want to. You can give me that list offline. I definitely don't want to put that online.
Nothing pornographic.
No, but I already have in my mind 3 or 4 different ones that you're going to be like, that'd be tasty.
Yeah. We get down to the last one of those. I want it.
Yeah. All right. That's it for this week. 10's down. Show's over.
Woo-woo.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.